Hello, welcome to another mystery vintage pattern. Welcome to Just Vintage Crochet Plus. And if you are new to the channel, I have here a stack of patterns that were compiled for me. So I did not go through and pick out these patterns. Titles and pictures have been removed. We have them. I just don't have them with me until I'm done making the pattern. You see, these are all numbered. We pick a number, we make the pattern with no context. These are all antique patterns. All of these patterns come from the 1800s. I believe we are solidly in the 1840s right now, as we just got rid of a whole book that was 1880s, but that book is absolute nonsense. Okay, you ready? Let's pick our pattern. Oh, that's the one we're going to do then. And also, to answer a burning question, the tapping background noise is my central air conditioning duct. Something in it bounces around. I live in Arizona, so unfortunately, I'm not going to turn my air conditioner off. Okay, we are at pattern number 11. 2, 8. Okay, that is our stitch terms for these patterns here. And pattern 11. There we go. There's another little pattern there. So this here was just the stitch terms for this. I do know the stitch terms, but it's mostly just for viewers. This is a book. My goodness. Okay, what do we have here? 1848 with picture. We love that because a lot of these 1840s patterns do not have a picture. So looks like he has attempted to black out some stuff. How many rounds are we? 16 rounds. Okay, well, awfully thick. Beautiful broad lace for a frill. Oh, I don't think this goes with our pattern. This is another pattern. Is it? Yes, it is. Yes. Okay, so just a moment. I'm going to remove this, but I'm not going to trash it. It's cute. I mean, it sounds cute. Could be something we can play with whenever we run into a pattern I just can't get past. Maybe we can pick this one up. Yeah. I'll be right back. Go. I'll put that in my stack of patterns, and we'll play with that one day when we need to. So here we go. Number 11. Typically, cotton number 30. Yes, typically from this era, we are strictly in the threads. Let's see here. Number 30 for the I don't know, and 40 for the border, which is worked onto the blank work with a fine crochet needle. You commence at the center of the blank, tie a loop on the end of the thread. First round, work 12 single crochet. Okay, we're working in old UK stitch terminology. Double crochet is a US single crochet. Work 12 single crochet stitches into the loop. Put 2 long stitches, that's going to be US double crochet, UK treble crochet, into each stitch. Put 3 long stitches into 3 successive stitches and make a chain of 3 betwixt. Hey, there's our favorite word. Each 3 long stitches. Okay. Oh, this must be the border. You now put 2 rows round the crown. Crown? Is this a cap? Is this a hat? Oh my, the whole time I was thinking as I'm reading this is just going to be another doily. I don't think we have another doily. Make a chain of 6 and join it. Make a chain. See, beautiful lace for frill. Is the lace part of whatever this thing is? Maybe, maybe not. Make a chain of 6, join it to the center in the former round by 2 single crochet stitches, making it up according to taste. No, this is the end here. Border part. You now commence with the border. You can work all around for the first border, then put a double one at the front, which is worked in the same stitch, but work it into the chain stitches at the back of the last row on the, is that hat? That's a small little blackout right there. Is that hat or cap? Oh my goodness, how fun. Okay, So we have something different here. I am certain of that. I will need to work with thread, especially if we are making a wearable from this era. I'll be right back. I'm going to go ahead and just use a default bedspread size number 10, plus it'll make it a little bit easier for you to see. And a number 7, this is a vintage Susan Bates number 7 hook, which is around a 1.5, different makers, different sizes, 1.5 to 1.60 millimeter. All right, I just want to get started on this. Okay, you commence at the center of the blank. Tie a loop. So I'm just going to go ahead and make a magic circle since it's not instructing us to chain anything. Okay, and it says to work 12 single crochet stitches into the loop. All right. I'll be right back. There are my 12 single crochet. I'm going to go ahead and join. Stretch out the first stitch to make it easier to get into. All right, close this up a bit. There we go. There's our start. And it says we're now going to work 2 double crochet into each stitch. So in this situation, I am going to use a chain 3, maybe even just a chain 2 for the first double crochet. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, I think I'll go with a chain 2. Sometimes a chain 3 is just a little too long. Okay, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We're looking for 5 and 6. So we're looking for a total of 24. I'll be right back. I worked it all around, went back and restarted because there was a pretty good sized gap here at the end. So I decided to use the chain 2 as sort of a filler and just worked 2 double crochet into that same joining stitch. So my chain 2 now is just going to be gap filler. So I'm going to go ahead and finish working the rest of my 24 double crochet around.
Okay,
There we go. And then the next instructions say to put 3 long stitches into 3 successive, so 3 in a row stitches, and make a chain of 3 betwixt each 3 long stitches. Now it doesn't say to miss any stitches, so I'm guessing we don't miss any, we don't skip over any stitches. So let's see here. What do I want to do? Do I want to do a chain? No. No, I'm going to go ahead and bring a slight bit of modernization to this one there. That's going to be my first double crochet. So 1, 2, and 3. Chain 3. And then I'm guessing no skipping, so the very next stitch over. 1, 2, and 3. With the chain 3, I'm not working my chains too tight because I think we have to work in them. Maybe, but they don't need to be worked tight. They look all right. They're also not worked super loose, just with kind of a moderate tension. Usually when I work with thread, I keep a pretty firm tension. But with these older patterns, they often want you to work into the chain, and so it just does me a favor in case I do need to work in that chain. Let me see. The next round is going to be put 2 long stitches over the 3 in the last round and make a chain of 5 betwixt each 2 long stitch. Put 2 long stitches over the 3. Is that 2 in each of the 3? Make a chain of 5. Put 1 long stitch over the 2. Maybe it's to decrease them then? Make a chain of 5, then a long stitch in the center of the chain, okay? Put 1 long stitch over each. So I'm not actually working in these chains. So I can tidy these chains up a little bit. I'm a little bit confused as to how it wants me to, I imagine that it comes with an image, like it says, and the image is probably very helpful. There we go, that's a little firmer. The image is probably very helpful as to what exactly it is they mean. Often these patterns were written with the intention of working them with the image. There we go. All right, I'll be right back. I gotta figure out how it is they want me to work that next round. Do they just want them off to the side or decrease? Okay, so not understanding exactly what they want me to do, I'm just gonna go based on my instinct here. I'm gonna decrease. So I'm gonna chain 1 here and I think, yeah. That looks terrible. So I think what I'll do is chain 2, so there's 2 chains. There we go. And then 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pardon my dog. Somebody just came in the house and that's what he does. Merlin. Okay, so I went ahead and finished that, let Merlin get it out of his system. Now I've chained 5 and I'm just going to continue to decrease because that's with a lack of detailed instruction. All I have to go, oh, and also a lack of an image, all I have to go on is my gut. So my gut says work a decrease over the first 2 stitches, work a double crochet into the last, and then chain 5. I should probably work these chain 5s a little looser, actually. I think I do have to work into one of these stitches here. Yeah, those ones are okay. This one here I need to take it easy on a little bit. There we go. All right, so I will be back for round 5. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and join to the top of what would be the first double crochet. And now the next round says put 1 long stitch over the 2, so we're going to decrease, chain 2. There we go. That is sort of basically 1. And then work 5 chains. 2, 3, 4, 5. And it says here work 5 chains, then a long stitch in the center chain. So 1, 2, 3. And then 5 chains again. And decrease these 2 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what I'm doing, whenever I read on, I made the first 2 stitches kind of firm, the middle stitch a bit loose, and then the last 2 stitches firm so that it still looked nice. But I can work into that center stitch. 1, 2, and 3. I'm an old sneaky one, aren't I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm doing it again here because I think in the next round, put 1 long stitch, 1 between each stitch. No, maybe not. Okay, either way. All right, here we go. Oop. Almost completed that one there. 1 and 2 turned into 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and work this. Uh-oh, I messed up already. Got to put 1 here. 1, 2. All right, I will be right back once I'm all done working these stitches all around. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and join into the first double crochet I made. There we go. That's what I have so far. Okay, so now for round 6, put 1 double crochet over each double crochet and 1 between each double crochet in the last round, making a chain of 2 between each stitch. Okay, so we're going to start here with this one, and just to keep it looking nice, I'm going to go ahead and work a stacked single. Chain 2, and I'm going to count 1. There we go, 1, 2, and into the middle chain. Glad I worked those middle chains a little more loose. 1, 2, 1 over the top of this double. 1, 2, 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, 1 over this one. Okay, very simple. There we go. So I'm going to finish working this all around, and I will be right back. Okay, all done with that. It's looking really cool. I hope it's looking correct. So now for the 7th round, put 2 long stitches above the first long stitch. Then make a chain of 2 and put 1 long stitch above the next one in the last round. Again, the chain of 2 and then 2 long stitches. Okay, so 2 above the 1. I think I want this to be a stacked then, so that it looks cohesive. Then it says to chain 2 and put 1 above the 1. Putting, I think, 2 into this one. Chain 2, and then just put 1. Chain 2, and put 2. So I think that's what we're doing here now. All right, I will be back. I'm going to go ahead and keep working this all around. I'm going to go ahead and work my last chain 2 and join to the top of my stacked single. There we go. Let's get a good look at things. Kind of stretch it open a little bit. All right. Now for the 8th round, put 3 long stitches above the 2 long ones in the last round and 1 long stitch over the 1, making always a chain of 2 between the 3 and the 1. So once again, I'm going to go ahead and start with a stacked single. And I'm going to go ahead and work another one in that same stitch. Work another double crochet and then 1 into the next stitch over. And it says making sure chain of 2. Put 1 double crochet here. Chain of 2. And then we work 1, 2, and 3. Then just 1 here. And 3 here. I wonder what this would look like. Hang on. 1 in between the stitches. 2. And then into the next stitch over. 3. Let me try that again. I really want to get a good comparison of which one looks more even, because I think increasing is going to cause it to lean a little heavy on one side, but that looks more even, doesn't it? But there's a gap right there. So let me try that again. Gaps, I mean, sometimes gaps are necessary. I don't always like gaps in crochet. Which, by the way, is what makes my, like shameless self-promotion here. It's one of the things that makes my American flag blanket a bestseller, because there are 0 gaps. Which one do we prefer? What do you think? This one here is going to lean. Let me really open this up. Okay, this one here is going to lean a little heavy on this side, but it's not super noticeable. You know, like, to be fair, that's not super noticeable. And this is going to leave a bit of a noticeable gap right here. So, I don't know, what should I do? Should I keep going like this? It's kind of interesting, isn't it? I don't know. I'll be right back. I worked a bunch in both ways to really get a good in-depth look at it. And so up to here is working 2 into 1 and then 1 into the next. From here to here. And then from these 3 here, I worked in I split the stitches. And I kind of like this way better. I feel like it just looks a little neater. I have to move this to the other side of the bar so I can see. I've got a big bar down the middle of my screen. Hold this up so you really get a good look. It's not really opening up these stitches too much down here. Not really any more than these ones here. These are kind of open too. I'm not seeing a huge difference other than it's not all off onto one side. There you go. I think I'm going to go with this way. Okay, so I will be right back whenever I get this worked all the way around. So I already started the 9th round. That's because I looked up and noticed my little recording symbol here was not on. I was not recording that. So it wants us to work 4 long stitches over the 3, chain 2, work 1 over the 1. So what I am doing, how I started this right here, and of course we are separating everything by a chain 2 still, is I'm working one double on the first, two doubles in the middle, and one on the last. And then in the next round, the 10th round, it wants us to work 5. So what I'm going to do with that, I'm just going to work it off camera, but I'll explain it. It wants us to work 5 over the 4. Then it wants us to work 1 over the 1 with, let's see here, a chain 2 separating. So I'm going to work 1, 2, split these 2, and that's where I'm going to work 3, and then 4, 5. So basically I'm going to work 1, 2, down here will be 3, then 4 and 5 separated by a chain 2, working a 1. That's going to be for row 10. This is row 9. So that's 1, 2, 3, and then 4. There we go. Then a chain 2, and work 1 over the 1. Oh, there goes my microwave. That's my lunch. Okay, so I'm going to work the rest of round 9 and then round 10 exactly how I showed you I was going to do it. And then that's it for this page. We will move on to round 11 together. I'll be right back. There we go. Now it's time for round 11. Very easy round. Put 1 long stitch into every chain stitch. The blank is now finished. I think that says crown. Now, I was looking at this and I'm thinking every chain stitch, I think I need to do it into the top of every single stitch. I think they said chain stitch because they want you to put double crochets, 2 double crochet into the chains as well. Like to not neglect those. So I'm going to go ahead and work a double crochet into every stitch around. Okay, there we go. Now on to the, it says middle part, first round. Put 1 long stitch into every other chain stitch on the crown. So every other double crochet. Make a chain of 2 between each long stitch. Okay. Go ahead and start with my stacked single. And chain 2. Skip the next stitch, and in the next stitch over, work my double crochet. Okay, so I'm going to work this all around. I think I can do the next, these first 3 rounds off camera, because it says the second round, put 1 long stitch into every open hole, making a chain of 2 between each. And then the third round, same as the last. So I'm going to go ahead and work this off camera, and I will be back for the 4th round of the middle part. Okay, there we go. Now I'm ready for the 4th round, and it says same as last, only putting 4 long stitches into every 8th open hole to form a spot. Okay. So same as last. So I've been working a stacked single and I'm kind of hating it because it looks a little bit thicker than all the other stitches. So I'm going to try this next one with just a chain. And I'm going to need a slip stitch over. And I'm going to chain 1, 2, 3, 4, because I'm only using 2 chains as the height of a double crochet. So that is 1, 2, 3, well, maybe I should use 3 chains. Yeah, I'm going to use 3. Okay, so 1 more chain for a total of 5 chains to start. All right, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and into the 8th. Oh, this stuff is wanting to twist up on me. Put 4 in the 8th. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2. See, what do we think of that? I think that looks all right. Or should I try it fillet style? What if I tried it fillet crochet style? See, I don't think it would change the stitch count any. So let's try it like this. Put 1 here. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Oops. Can I get this 4th stitch right? That would be nice if I could do that. Okay, 1, 2. Now let's see. Which way did we like better? Do one more. There we go. Which way did we like better? Maybe the 4 into the stitch was a little cuter. It looked a little more, I don't know, small. Well, I just wanted to see. I just had to cure my curiosity. All right, I'm going to go ahead and work this all around, putting 4 into every 8th hole, as it says, into every 8th open hole. Let's see, what does the next round want? The 5th round, same also, only put 3 long stitches into 2 successive holes after you pass the spot in the last round. So it would be like here and then the next one in the next round up. Okay. Okay. Well, here I go. I'll be right back. I mean, it'll be right back for you, but the bigger this thing gets, the more time consuming it's becoming. I started this at 1:15. It is 6:16. No, I started this at 2:15, forgive me, and it's 6:16, so it's a little bit time consuming. I'll be right back. Why did it take so long? Because I had to stop a lot. Family coming through, dog barking, these things makes the filming process take a lot longer than it should. I went ahead and started the next round just because I wanted to know how to do this part. So this part here, I skipped over the 4 stitches. I kind of want to work in the middle of them. So just right in the middle and see how that looks. It's not telling me I need a specific stitch count. And then in the 2 spaces next to that, we just work the 3 doubles or the 3 long. And I'm going to skip over the double crochet there and into the very next space. So I kind of like it with a double. You know what I mean? Like this looks kind of stretched out. So I think this is what I'm going to do. It doesn't give any specific instructions how to work over these. So after looking at it both ways, I think I prefer this way over this way. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll be back whenever I get back around to the beginning. I was only able to end with 1 group of 3 on the end here. That's fine. So the 7th row says to put 3 single crochet stitches above the open in the last round and make a chain of 8 betwixt each 4. Betwixt each 4. Oh, here? Okay. Oh, do I need to skip? I probably need to skip then the double crochet stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 1, so approaching the first group of 4. And I'm going to go into that double crochet right on top. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then what? Make a chain of 8 betwixt each 4. So jumping over. You know, I was just thinking to myself, this seems less and less like some kind of cap and more like a doily, but maybe this is how you bring it in. Yeah. Maybe. But that leaves that. It seems kind of not right. I don't know, maybe. Okay. 1, 2, and 3. So I'm going to work this all around reluctantly because I don't know about this. So I just don't think this is right. What is it not telling me? Or what is the image showing? Likely the image like tells you what you need. So maybe it's like this. Put 3 single crochet stitches above the open in the last round and make a chain of 8 betwixt the 4. I don't know. I don't know. I'm at that notorious brick wall I usually hit. I'm going to play around with this and see what I can come up with. Well, I'm very tired. It is late. I'm going to put this away for tonight. I'm not going to be able to figure it out whenever I am tired and I just can't think straight. I mean, I can think straight, but I'm just mentally tired from working on this all afternoon. So I will be back in the morning. Put on my thinking cap and decided what I'm going to do, because I think this is a hat because it mentioned crown. So I am just simply skipping 4 double crochet stitches, and into the 5th stitch I work a single crochet, and whenever I get to one of these little deals here, I just work the double crochet immediately following the 6 in a row. Is it correct? I really don't know, but it's what I'm gonna do. It's the only thing that makes the most sense in my mind. I am convinced that this is a hat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then I skip. Well, here I'm at one of these, so I don't really have to count how many I skip. I just know I'm going to work into this double crochet right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I skip 1, 2, 3, 4, and into the 5th. So that's what I'm going to do all around. Did I even get into that stitch? No. There we go. So I will be right back. I'm going to work this all around. I don't know if this is correct, but it's what's making the most sense to me. I am just thoroughly convinced that this is a hat because it talks about a crown. Okay, so I had to undo my work because I forgot. I started this whole round off by working 3 single crochet here in this first space. So what I did was I chained 1 and I worked a single crochet into the top of my joining chain right here. Then chain 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm still going to skip 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and into the 5th stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And between the groups of 3 here, that's where I'm going to work my next single crochet. Spaces out to the same. So that's the only thing that's, you know, from the last clip I was just on here. I forgot. I made my way all the way around at the beginning. I'm like, oh no, I still have those. Dang, that changes everything. Okay, let me do this again. So this is me doing this again. So I'm going to go ahead and finish working this all around. I'll be right back. Okay, there it is. On to the 8th round. Again, all of that is purely guess. Purely a guess. Make a chain of 8, join it to the 4th stitch on the chain in the last round. Then make a chain of 4 and join it to the next stitch on the chain, which will form a small loop. You then make a chain of 8 again, joining it to the center of next chain, making the little loop in the same manner. And then it says 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th rounds, same as the 7th, which is the round we just worked. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Should I slip stitch over? No. Yes, I should. I should not start from here. Okay. I must slip stitch over because if I start from here, it's going to end in a very odd, unnatural way. I need to start into the center. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. It doesn't say anything about working a single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Join it to the 4th stitch on the chain in the last round, then make a chain of 4. You know what? I've already joined on, yeah, because whenever I finish here, I'm going to join down here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then join it into the next stitch over, which makes a little loop. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I was joining into the wrong stitch. And then chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Join to the next chain over. And then chain 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Here's hoping all of this is correct. So I'm going to go ahead and work this all around. I will be right back. It's been 8 days. I have new nails on. By the way, Miss Ma'am at Golden 30 Nails is not going to be taking any more orders after June 30th because she will be taking the rest of the year off for maternity leave. She'll be back after the new year. I'll get more into that on my Everyday Corinna channel, but I have new nails. I hope they're not too much. Aren't they pretty? Oh my goodness, they're so pretty. All right, so I just realized I didn't film that whole last row. So jumping right in and letting you know what you missed out on. The 13th round is put 4 single crochet into the center of the chain in the last round and make a chain of 3 betwixt each 4. So that's what I did there, 4 single crochet around the chain and a chain of 3 between. I ended with my 4 singles, a chain of 3, and I slip stitched into my starting single crochet. Now for the 14th round, it says put 6 double crochet. Again, I'm translating this into US stitch terms. Put 6 double crochet into the 6 successive chain stitches. Commence them in the last 2 of the 4 single crochet stitches in the last round and work them across the chain part, making a chain of 1 betwixt each 6 and missing 1 chain stitch on the work betwixt each 6. Okay, so it wants us to work 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Miss the first stitch. So I'm going to slip stitch over into the next single crochet. Chain 1, and I'm going to start working, 2, 3, and I'm going to start working my 6 doubles in a row. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Chain 1, skip the first single, and start working 6 in a row again. 1. So basically working in the last 3 single crochet. I know it says 2, but sometimes you just have to take a little liberty, you know? And then 1 in each, around 1 of each of the 3. And yes, I could be working through the chain stitches. I'm actively choosing not to. Chain 1, skip the first single, and here we go. So I'm going to go ahead and work this all around, and I will be back for round 15. There we go. Be right back. Okay, so here's where we're at now. Let's move this out of the way so you can actually see. There we go. Pull that up for you. That's where we are at now. Kind of looking like this can become a really cute beret. Honestly, if you use a thicker thread, this could be a really pretty beret. Okay, so it says the middle part is now done. You break off the thread and commence the front part. You must break off your thread at the end of every row and begin again always at the same end. So we're going to typewriter it. When you finish the row, work the thread down a stitch or 2 to fasten. And in commencing the row, tie the thread onto the end that was left hanging when you began the former row, which will prevent you having so many ends. Oh, nah. Okay, first row, I'll just weave them in because I don't want little knots. Make a long open, so double crochet, make a long open row for a caser. I don't know what that is. Put the thread, I will look it up, of course. Put the thread 3 times round the needle for the long stitch. So we're doing a US treble crochet, a UK double treble. Bear in mind, this pattern is from 1846. 1848. So the Queen's Court patterns are from 1846. They just simply, in the 1840s, again, crochet was so baby brand new to the UK, they just didn't have a name for a double treble in the UK, or here in the US, a treble. Okay. 3 times around the needle, I'm going to translate this into US terms again. Put 1 treble crochet stitch into every open, so every chain 1 space, and 1 in the center of the 6 closed stitches in the last row. There is a little gnat buzzing around. Okay, so I'm going to say, because these are even stitches, what I will do is put one actually in the center, like that. So I'm going to go between the stitches, not into the top of a stitch. Okay, 6 closed stitches, last row, making a chain of 3 betwixt each. You leave 4 inches for the neck. Okay, confirmed. This is some kind of headwear. Confirmed. We have crown, we have neck. Okay, leave 4 inches for the neck. So leave 4 inches unworked. Okay, so instead of cutting here, I'm going to go ahead and continue from here, and then I will cut at the end of this row. So this will be my starting point. So I'm going to go 4 inches. Let's get this out of the way so you can see. So let me get, well, where's my other tape measure? Oh, it's right here. Okay. Leave 4 inches for the neck. Okay, really and truly, like, confirm headgear. We just don't know specifically what kind. Okay, so right here we are in the middle of 6 stitches. I'm just going to say it's going to essentially be right here. So where is my stitch marker? This is where my last stitch will be worked. It's not perfectly exactly 4 inches. It's off by a hair. Ask me if I care, because I don't. I mean, it's almost, it's just shy of 4 inches. It's close enough. Really and truly. We could say leave about 4 inches. All right, so front part, first row, make a UK double treble, US treble, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and then see, I got to come back 1. So now this will be right because I need to come back 1. So what I'm going to do is work myself over into this chain 1 space. One, 2, 3, 4, and then a chain of 3. 1, 2, 3. Yarn over twice, and in the center of these 6 here, see, it's not perfectly in the center. We can manipulate that a little bit. There we go. It's a little more into the center now. So into the space between the 3 groups of stitches here, and I lost. There we go. 2, 3, chain 3, and into the chain 1 space. 1, 2, 3, and right here in the center. So I'm going to go ahead and work this all around. I'm going to end with 3 chains, and I'm going to join into the 4th chain up, and that'll complete this round. I'll be right back. I finished that last round. I moved on to the next round without you. I apologize. Put 3 long stitches into the open in the last row, and one chain stitch betwixt each 3. And I think when they say each 3, I think they mean each 3 group. So chain 1, I'm burying in my tail along the way, and I'm going to bury in this tail as I approach. So what I'll do is pull this tail out like this on this side, and just start burying this tail in too. And so that'll work out fine. So that's how I'm going to deal with the excessive tail situation. Don't mind the background noise. My husband is cooking up some good food for the kids. But yeah, it's just a chain 1 into the next space, and I start working in my 3 doubles. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this off camera, and let my husband finish cooking, so it'll be a bit before I come back because they're gonna have dinner as well. But there we go. I was just thinking what I can do is read a few parts of the pattern for you really quick so I don't have to jump back on camera. I can work while he's cooking and they're eating. So third row, put 7 long into 7 successive chain stitches on the last row, making 2 chain betwixt the 7. Then put 5 long into the center of the 7 and 1 into the open. So 1 into the chain 1 space, making a chain of 2 between the end 1 and the 5 long. Put 3 long in the center of the 5 in the last row and put 1 into each of the open holes with a chain, so the chain 1 spaces, with a chain of 2 betwixt each single stitch and the 3 also. And I think that means the 3 group. So 1 between each single and then 1 between the group of 3. So I'm going to work all of this off camera. That'll give my family plenty of time for dinner, and I'll come back to do the 6th row with you, and I will also show you the finished, all those rows, how they look worked up. So I will be back in about an hour. So now I'm at the 6th round, and the 6th round, basically they want us to, first I'll read it to you, but here we go. Put 1 long stitch into the center of the 3, and I'll show you my work in the last round, and 1 into each chain 1 space, always making a chain of 2 between. I went ahead and read on. We're basically going to repeat all the steps we just did. It's going to have us work 3, then 5, then 7, and then 3 again. So I'll work this row 6 with you, but row 7, 8, and 9, I'll work off camera because it's just working this in reverse. So 3, 5, 7, everything is the same. You're going to chain 2, work 1 double crochet into any chain 1 space. So it looks like it's going to go like this and then back out again, you know, like an hourglass. Okay, so let's do this. So at first, I was slip stitching over until it dawned on me. This is obviously a bonnet, like a child's bonnet. So I undid my work, went back and just started working the edges. So I pretty much disregard the instructions for the most part when it comes to the beginning and the end of each row. Like, there's an obvious design happening here. I'm not worried about it so much here because I need to be able to keep my edge with no gaps. So I don't worry too much about the instructions until I get past the first section. I'll weave in my ends the whole way. Here are all of my ends weaved in. I just haven't cut them yet on this side and on this side. Okay. So here it wants us to work 1 into the center of the 3, but to start off, I'm just going to work my way over. And it doesn't say to do this. This is just my choice. Okay. So now I will chain 2, which I do very tight, jump over and work 1 double, chain 2, next space over, chain 2, again, chain 2, and into the middle, chain 2. Okay, I will be right back. I will start the next row with you, and then after that I'm going to go ahead and work it. See, put 7 and then put 3 long into the first. So at the 10th row I'm gonna start the 7th row with my son's medication alarm went off and I film on my phone. But anyways, I'll start row 7 with you and then I'll work 8 and 9 off camera and then be back for the 10th. And actually what I'll do is come back whenever I'm ready to start working on this over this tail here, and I'll show you the way I do it. But I'll be back. So here's how I work my tail on this side. I just bring it over. And I bring it way over, like it's way too much. You can always stretch it out and fix it. I'll go ahead and get that in there. And you'll note I haven't stretched it out. It's still way too far over, but it's easier to control whenever it's this way. See how it's just automatically flush with the work? I really don't have to try. Then as I get a little more over, I'll stretch it out a little more. Like this. Give it just a little tug, just a little bit more slack, and keep going. And that's how I bury my tail in on this side. And then I can stretch it, tug on it, adjust it how I need to make it look straight like these down here. Okay, so I will be right back. Finished this row. I haven't cut yet. So what I'm going to do is tug on this thread, tug on my work a little bit to even it out. And I haven't cut them because I might want to make final adjustments before I cut all of my tails off. But yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead and work the next row up together. Let's start it together. So it wants us to work 3 long, so 3 double crochets. And this thread is some of that twisty thread. Ooh, it likes to twist up on me while I'm working. Make sure I leave myself a long tail. And it wants us to start with 3 this time. 1, 2, 3. So that means I need to have one extra in the chain space. So I'm going to start off just working my way over. Not really worrying too much about these ends here. I mean the end of the work. Did I skip a stitch? I think I did. Yeah, I did. Right there. Okay, so pretending this is my center of 3. So 1, 2, 3. So no, nothing in the chain space. Okay, so there are my 3. And then put 3 long into 3 chain stitches opposite the point. And 1 long stitch into the 2 holes, making a chain of 2. Okay, so 1, 2. So here is my center here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is continue to work until I get over the point. So we have solid triangle and a space triangle, you know, one that's made with spaces. Okay, so here we go. Gonna go 1, 2, and 3. Chain 2 and work all of the spaces until I get to the point. So it'll look something like that. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this don't look quite right. how this is kind of going like this, and this should be, oh, I see what I did wrong. I see what I did wrong. Justin's playing Led Zeppelin right now. Let's see if we can listen. I do see what I was doing wrong. I was considering the wrong stitch, the center stitch. This edge stitch right here needs to be my center stitch. Okay, so here we go. I'm just going to work my way over. And then I need to work one more into the chain space, just like that. And then we chain 2 and carry on. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and work this round. And I'll work up into the 10th round. I will not work the 10th round because that's where things change a little bit. That is correct. I'll go ahead and work this a little bit with you. Nope. Okay. 1 into the double. 1 into the chain space. Then chain 2 and start working my individual double crochets. So then the next round will be the same, except you're going to work 5. So 1 into each of the chain spaces, 1 over each of the 3 makes 5. And just work 1 double crochet into all the available, which will just be the middle one, I think. Available chain 1 spaces. Until you just basically look down here and copy this. Copy how this looks. But here it is if you want to follow the actual pattern as it's written. You can just pause the screen there, take screenshots, write it out in your own handwriting, whatever you're most comfortable with. Okay, I'll be right back whenever we are ready to work row 10. So here's where I'm at. I went ahead because I wanted to figure out how this needed to look. So I started the 10th row, put 3 long stitches into the first 3 long. Of course, my beginning and end of rows is not right. Of the last row, then make a chain of 1, then 3 long stitches. So what I did was anything I needed to do to match the top to the bottom. That's all I did. So I just threw in a random chain 1 here after the first 3 stitches. Did I need to do that? No, you know what I needed to do? Let's do this instead. Let's work 1 more. That's 4 stitches. Skip. I'm going to put 4 stitches here. That way it's at least even. But what I needed to make sure that I had done so that it's symmetrical is to have my chain 1, which needs to be a little looser, have my chain 1 over the top of this little diamond here. Now we go 1, 2, and 3. Chain 1, skip 1, and now it matches the bottom. I'll show you after these 3, and of course the stitch count matches as well. Chain 1, skip over the top of the little diamond, and carry on. Let me get these 3 done. I know I said I was going to do it after those last 3. I wanted to make sure I had at least a few more stitches so it was easier to look at. See how it matches now? Boom, boom. Here, here, it matches. So I'm not hyper concerned with the beginning and the end of the rounds or the rows, mostly just the body of it. Okay? And I feel like if this were 1848 or 1854 or even 1877 and picked this pattern up and said, ooh, a vintage pattern in 1877. Yeah, because that would be vintage. They probably didn't care either and just tried to make it look nice. I hope we have a picture with this. Did it say no pic? Oh, please tell me it didn't say no pick. With pick. Okay, with pick. Okay, cool. I can't wait to see how bad I messed this up. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm going to work this all the way to the end. And whenever I got down to this end, I didn't cut. I just turned and worked. And it's fine. It didn't blow up or anything. Okay, worked my way to the end. Now it wants us to do exactly what we did right here, where we make the treble crochets or the UK double trebles. Make a caser the same as the other. Put one treble or double treble into every open and make 3 chain stitches betwixt each of those trebles or double trebles. Then it says to put 1 double crochet stitch into every chain stitch. So I'm going to work those 2 rows and then we get into the border part. How many rounds are in the border? How many borders do we have? Okay, and I was reading this part here. What I'm going to do, I don't have number 40 thread. I would say number 30 or 20 is probably a close relation to number 40. I do have this. This is number 10. It's a very dusty, thin number 10. If you look at the comparison, it's a very not number 10, number 10. It's very, very thin. Very, very thin compared to a more robust bedspread type number 10. So I'm going to use this. It's a different color. It's a very pretty color. We obviously have a baby bonnet here. Let me show you this. I mean, it's an obvious baby bonnet and it's very, very pretty too. Look at that. Almost looks like little pearls there. Isn't that pretty? But I can't wait to see how this looks with a border. My goodness. Let me just shape this out for you. Yeah, we definitely have a baby bonnet here. This is very, very cool looking. There's that design there. Look at that. Okay, so how many? For the border part, it wants us to work with a smaller cotton, or is that the cotton we started with? Did we start with the number 40? Ooh, I don't want to look dumb. No, we started with the number 30. So in thread, the higher the number, the smaller the cotton. So we started with, let's just say, a size 20 cotton, and now it wants us to work down to a size 30 cotton in modern day sizing terms. I'm going to use this, which is the equivalent of about a size 20. This is a bit thicker than a size 20 and a bit thinner than a size 10. I think it's going to work out just fine. Okay, for which is worked the same stitch but worked into, okay, so put a single one, wait. You work all around the first border, then put a single one or a double one. I don't know what they mean by double or single in this context. At the front, which is work the same stitch, but work it into the chain stitches at the back of the last row on the, I'm going to say hat or cap, close to the caser, first round. So put 1 double crochet into every chain stitch. So then what was all this? Making 3 chain stitches betwixt each and working. Okay, so that's like a caser again. Put the needle. Yeah, that's okay. Same as the last, but put the long stitch into every open. Same as the last. Okay. Make a chain of 5. Put 3 double. Make a chain of 6 and join it to the 4th chain. Make a chain of 6 and join it to the center of the chain. And then that's it. Oh, make it up according to taste. That's it. Okay, so I'm going to work this stitch here, and I'm not going to cut or nothing. I'm just going to turn the work. It's fine. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, and let's see here. Put 1 long stitch into every open. Okay. Let's try that again. Yarn over twice. 2, 3. Oops. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then after this row, it's put 1 long stitch into every chain stitch. So what I'm going to do is put 3 into the chain 3 space and 1 into the top of every US treble, and 1 on the end or the 4th chain up of the end stitches, or the end stitch on this side, because this will be coming back this way. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and finish this. I will be right back to start the border portion. Okay, so I was reading this part here, and I think this is telling you how the entire border is meant to be worked. So we start with, I'm not going to change the hook size either, because they may want this part to come out a little more lacy. Just picturing it in my head. They don't say to switch to a finer needle. They say to use a fine needle throughout. That could mean match the needle to the thread, and it could also mean use the same needle, use a finer thread, you get a lacier look. Maybe. That's what I'm going to do anyway. Okay, you now commence the border with number 40 cotton. You work all around for the first border. Then put a double one, I think a double border at the front, which is worked the same stitch, but work into the chain stitches at the back of the last row. I think what that means is to work into the back loop in order to create a double border. Okay, so the first round, let's see how many rounds are in the first border. 5th round, 1st round. So this is the second border here. Okay, so the first border is the biggest border. And it says put 1 long stitch into every chain stitch. You now commence with the border. You work all round for the first border. So we're going to work all around. Now, won't that make the neck portion too big? Yeah, that'll make the neck portion too big, right? Because, is that right? It'll be too big then. I can't work the border all around, because then we're going to fill up this part here, and that's where the neck needs to go. So I think when they say all around, perhaps they mean from the edge to the front to the other free edge. That's what I think they mean. It has to be, because that's not how bonnets, you don't put nothing back here. Okay, so I'm going to say all around is free edge to free edge. So, or side edge to side edge. I suppose this is the free edge, isn't it? Okay, so put 1 long stitch, and I need to start here, because this is the outside of my work. Yes. And it says into every chain stitch. Well, I got 3 chains. But I think I'm just going to do 2. Because stitches are always fatter than they are longer. Meaning, you know what I mean. A stitch can be fat. And then, well, I don't know. This is a thin thread, though. This is a much thinner thread. See how insanely thinner it is compared? Look at this. Look how much smaller this is compared. It's like, what are you even talking about, number 10? Okay, then let's see how that looks in every 1, 2, 3. Yeah, okay, I can put 3 in each. That's not going to be a problem. As long as I don't put 1 at the join, because then it'll be too much. Okay, so I'm going to work 3 double crochet along each side edge, and then I'm just going to work a double crochet into every available stitch on the free edge. So that's what I'm going to do. And this pink is going to look really cute with this cream. And yeah, this is supposed to be a number 10. Come on, you. Come on out of there. Yeah. Yeah, now. Yeah. Get out of there. I gotta like twist it really small. Get out of there. Number 10. 10 size. 100% mercerized cotton. It's very pretty. Go low. You can find these on Amazon. It says to use a 1.5 millimeter hook. That's correct. But with a traditional bedspread cotton, you can use a 1.75 millimeter hook. Yeah, let's see. Number 10. It's quite a thin number 10. Okie doke. I will be right back. Kind of tempted to see how this would look in a 20. Not gonna lie. What should I do? I mean, I'm so early into this. Let me test it out with a 20. Let me test it out with a size 20, same size hook. I have here this DMC Cabela size 20. I use this for my beading projects. I mean, it's clearly thinner. Truly, though, not by much. I'm going to give the same amount of pressure on both. Get away from the nails so that you can see it. Not by a whole lot. This one here is more flush because it is thinner. Let's just try. Let's just take a look and see. Because size 20 is one size down from size 10 bedspread cotton. And no, we start here. Wonder if I shouldn't start. Actually, I should probably start here. I'll just go around instead of fighting with these little knots. This is just a test anyway. Well, so then I can get away with doing that. Okay. Let's see. You probably can't see anything. My apologies. Okay, I don't want to crowd the screen. Okay, that was 2, 3. I will put 1 in the join. That's pretty darn far away. Oh, that's the join though. Maybe the 20 would be best to make sure that the border is not too big. You know what I mean? Because this is already going to come over the face a pretty good amount. What do we think? Go with the red 20? This is actually like wine, I believe. Number 816 is supposed to be wine red. I don't know. I guess we can give it a try. Should I go down 1 hook size? Let's see what it looks like 1 hook size down. Hang on. Okay, and I grabbed my white sheet. I bought a set of white sheets specifically for whenever I need to work with a darker color. The camera's going to move a little bit. And the problem with using a piece of paper is it causes the sound to bounce back and it makes things sound a little more hollow. So here is a size 8. That is 1 size smaller than the size 7. So let's see how this looks compared. Not much different. A little bit smaller, a little bit cleaner, I guess. I think instead of the pink, we may go for a cream and red bonnet here and bumping down to an 8 millimeter hook, a size 8 hook. Forgive me. I don't know, kind of liking it. It don't really matter how it started. It's all relative. It's fine. I must have worked a single crochet there. What did I do there? Oh, I'll just start it over. So I'll go ahead and work this all around. When it comes to the corners, I think I'll work 3 stitches in the corner. You know, 1, 2, 3 in one corner, and then work my way down. I'll figure it out, and whenever I am all done, I'll show you what I wound up doing. Finish this one here anyway. Kind of liking it with the red. It's looking quite nice with the red. What do you think? I think it looks even more Victorian with this beautiful rich red that you can hopefully see. Okay, so let me know what you think of this. I rounded the corner and I did work the 3 in the corner. Now, do you see how these look like little Van Dykes the way I worked them? Which actually looks really nice. If you look at it like this, it actually looks really nice. And then I started working across the top. And it just, look at that. It just doesn't have that same energy. It just looks like teeth. So to keep the stitch count, I started working little Van Dykes, just skipping every other stitch, because you're not going to lose the stitch count, because you can see that we have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So just skipping every other stitch and working the little Van Dykes. And what do you think? I kind of like it better, and it matches the side stitches pretty good, I think. I think I'm going to do this, and I think it's okay to do that. So I worked the corner stitch, and I'm not going to bury the tail in across the top because it looks too messy. So I'm going to call this tail buried, and I just undid my stitch there. You know what, that's fine, because I need to put this tail to the back of the work anyway. There we go. Okay, so what I'm going to do is skip the next stitch and just work a little Van Dyke in the next stitch over. 1, 2, and 3. Then skip the next and work another one in the next one over. And that's what I'm going to do. Every other stitch, I'm just going to work a little Van Dyke. I really do like the way it looks better. Okay, so I'll be back. I'm going to work this all the way to the end. Yeah, that definitely looks better. And I'm going to get rid of this tail. So I think what I'll do with the tail, just to keep it from slipping out, is I think what I'll do is take out a little bit of it right here. Come here, you. Yeah, we'll just pop this much out here, and then I'll weave it back that way, and that'll lock it in pretty good, because it doesn't feel very secure the way it's weaved in right now. And you're likely not going to be able to see this very well. I'm going to do my best to brighten the footage up in edit. So if it still looks dark, I am sorry. Yeah, I think this will work. Oh. And then I think for good measure, I'm going to come 1 stitch over and just come back again. A little bit of serpentine there, because it really did not feel secure the way it was weaved in. All right, I feel comfortable with that. Okay. Now this won't be in my way. That is good and weaved in. All right, carrying on. I will be right back. Got quite a bit of ways to go. Got a long way to go and a short. I don't know why I sing on this tone. I have the worst singing voice. Okay, I'm sure you all picked up on the fact that I messed up already on the first round. I'm not going back and redoing it. I really like the way it looks. So I'm essentially working the first round now. Even though I made it a point to read all of this whenever we first went over it, for some reason I got tunnel vision. And I just simply put one long stitch into every chain stitch, every single stitch. And I forgot that I had read the part where it says to put 3 chain stitches between each, working the long stitches on the border, put the thread twice around the needle to make it more open. Second round, same as the last, but put the long stitch into every open. Third round, same as the last. I'm going to work the rest of this off camera, and it basically just looks like this. So I'm going to keep this foundation. I'm just going to call this the foundation row. This is officially row 1. This is officially row 1, and it goes into every stitch, not every other stitch, but every stitch. And I didn't chain first. One, 2, 3. So that's going to be quite a lot. It's going to be, I think, really frilly. But yeah. So whenever I come back around, I'll work into the chain spaces and then again work into the chain spaces. I'll be back in the 4th round whenever it looks like things might change a little bit. Okay, so this part right here is an absolute Stitch-A-Thon. It's taking me hours. So last night I got done with this part. I got done with it at about 4:30 in the morning, actually. And I started it at midnight, these 2 rows here. I started at midnight, and about 4.5 hours later, I was done. Now here I am on the 3rd row. I have been working on this. It is 12:30 at night. I started working on this, my goodness, about an hour and a half ago. About an hour and a half ago. Of course, I have to take hand cramp breaks and everything. So I would love to move on to another pattern because this one here is so incredibly time consuming. Let's just get the picture and see if I at least got the bulk of it right, because this is just the border and it's actually very cool looking. Here, let me put the pattern down here so you can see that border, how that is beginning to look. It's very lacy, very, very lacy. So let's get the picture. Let's see if I at least got the meat and potatoes done, because the dressing is the dressing. Let's see, just a moment. I feel like I got the meat and potatoes done, but I didn't use Mom's exact recipe, if that makes any sense. So it is a bonnet. It says A Very Beautiful Baby's Cap, number 11. And it looks right. I was just looking at this coming back down the hallway. And it looks like I basically got it right, except for I only have 1 row of the picots, and they're way down here at the beginning. And I know I followed this pattern correct. So we do have the row of picots, but as you can see, they're way down at the beginning. So, not sure about that. I think everything else is basically correct. I think what I'm going to do is not scrap this. I'm going to undo this last row here. I'll just do that really quick. And I'm going to save this for a future grandbaby, or if somebody I know is having a baby now. This is too big for a newborn, I think. A little bit too big for a newborn, but I think it's a good size for a 3 to 6 month old. Man, that's an hour and a half of work I'm undoing right there. But I don't want to leave it incomplete, and I don't want to complete it because it's just such a Stitch-A-Thon, and I don't have the luxury to complete big projects anymore because I have to constantly make content. And I say I have to as if I'm complaining, but I'm not, because I prefer constantly diving into something new. I know you all can relate. Don't even tell me that you don't have a minimum of 3 whips right now. 3 projects that you got excited, started, didn't finish because you saw another one, got excited, and started it. So let's look at this with just the one row of the the one row of double crochet plus this sort of loopy stitch here. There we go. Lock that into place. Okay. I still think it looks very cute. Put a little burgundy satin ribbon right here. And that's all you really need. Very cute. Let's get some measurements here. So the circumference of the crown, and here we go, is going to be approximately, approximately 6 inches. I mean, I think this is actually the crown right here. So let me move this in. Approximately 5 inches, or see, what is that? About 13 centimeters. So I think that's fine. I think this is cute. Very cute. If nothing else, a little heirloom piece. I absolutely love the way this looks stretched out. Anyways, this is it. This is our pattern. I'm going to go ahead and dive right into another pattern. I dropped my bowl an hour and a half ago whenever I started doing my work again. And I think there's still 2 more patterns on the floor, maybe under my couch somewhere. But yeah, it seems a couple patterns short. Either way, we're going to dive right into another mystery pattern immediately, and I will see you guys in the next video. Love you lots. Bye.